justice have yet to be served. We want to thank the President. This is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Boston Rhines. And of course, we're in Valdosta, Georgia. As you see the young lady standing before the camera, she also talked on the courthouse steps up there earlier. Tell us about your story. First of all, why are you here? And you want to call some names and tell us a little bit and ask for assistance from anybody that you can. Talk to us a little bit.
Well, I'm here in support of justice for Kendrick Martin, my son G.B.R. Washington, and also I've been speaking about on the Trayvon Martin issue also. So I'm asking our community leaders, I'm asking the NAACP, I'm asking the Justice Department to look into these cases of young black men that been killed, that been falsely accused of things, that have been victimized and profiled. So I'm here to stand up for justice.
Okay. And where are you from again?
I'm from Central Florida. I'm from Melbourne, Florida, Brevard County. And the incident, my son was involved in an incident in Indian River County, Florida, where he was shot, profiled by Sheriff Deputy Kevin Keys, and shot and left for dead, October the 24th of 2010. And here it is almost 3 years later, and his case is still ongoing.
Well, why did he do it? Give us a bit more information surrounding what happened.
Well, actually, from what I know, my son and some friends went down to Indian River County to a party where the incident had nothing to do with them. Shots were fired. My son and his friends fled the scene like others was fleeing, and Officer Keith was responding to the call and just seeing a car full of young black men fleeing the scene and assumed they was guilty of whatever that disturbance.
Well, how did the shooting take place?
The officer said my son now was driving a car. I'm familiar.
With you guys, look for more information to connect with our state president in Florida.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Good. That was the president of the NAACP, excuse me, Edward DeBose, and he was saying that he's going to connect up with them to assist you. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Yes, my son and his friends fled the scene like everybody else, and as Officer Keith, Deputy Keith, was responding to the scene, he seen a car full of black young men and assumed that's who was doing the disturbance. So he followed the car. My son, who was the driver, I'm familiar with the territory, ended up on a dead-end street. As he was making a U-turn, Officer Keith stopped his car, got out of his car, holstered his weapon, and opened fire on a car full of teenagers, hitting my son with the second round in the chest.
So what's the status of the case right now?
The status of the case is ongoing. Now, my son, no one else in the car was charged with anything. Officer Keith lied and said the reason he opened fire on a car full of young black men is because someone in the car was firing a weapon at him. Well, when FDLE got involved and did their investigation, they found that Officer Keith's story was a lie, that no one in the car, none of the kids in the car had a weapon, and that Officer Keith was in no danger. So he changed his story and said, well, my son came toward him and tried to use a car as a weapon. He used that as to justify him opening fire on a car full of black teenagers.
What about the video cam in the car? Do they have any video footage?
We have dash cam on Officer Keith's car where it's clearly showing that Officer Keith at no point in time was in danger. No weapon was found in the car. No gunfire, powder residue, or anything was found on any of the kids in the car. And a dash cam clearly showed that Officer Keith falsified what happened that night and intentionally found on a car full of young black men and profiled them.
Is that on YouTube anywhere or anywhere on Facebook?
You can go to, it's on Facebook. You can go to my page, Andrea Johnson. I'm in Palm Bay, Florida. Or you can go to Facebook, or you can go to clickorlando.com and type in my son name, G.B.R. Washington. It'll bring up the dash cam with the incident that happened that night.
Okay. So right now, how's the community support for the case?
Well, me and my son resides in Brevard County. The incident happened in the next county over in Indian River County. My son and I have supported the NAACP in Brevard County. We have supported his school, Palm Bay High, which he attended. We got a support of the community there in Brevard County. Now, when it comes down to Indian River County, that's a different story. Indian River County so keen on covering up the officer that I haven't got much support down in Indian River County to really look into the case. My son's case has been postponed 13 times. He's been went in front of the judge 13 times, and 33 times the state asked for a continuance while they collect more evidence. In 3 years, they haven't got enough evidence to officially charge my son with anything, but he's still now sitting in jail for 17 months waiting on them to officially charge him with anything.
So when you heard the young lady from Columbus, Georgia, and from upstate up north say that this is an epidemic across the nation, you undoubtedly take first hand of that, so you really know that this is real, huh? This
is real. I never, in my day and age, I never thought that injustice would still be happening to our young black men today. But seeing this firsthand, this is real, and we need our community leaders, we need our community to stand up and stand up for justice, stand up for right in our community, take part and effort in these young men's life, and be active in our community.
Okay, one other thing, close, I'm gonna ask you another question. How is the pastor supporting you down there? You getting a lot of religious community down there?
Goodness, I hate to say this, but, and it's sad to say, since this happened 2 years ago, I wrote 46 different churches in my community of B.R. County and in Indian River County, asking them to please listen to me, hear my story, stand behind me, and I have got response from now one pastor said, come and address my congregation, let them hear my story. And it saddens me to know that the Pastor Association in Brevard County and Indian River County, so and key, all they want to be involved in what they can benefit from. But when it comes down to helping the young youth in their community, they don't want to get their hands dirty.
What about the press news release down there? How's the newspaper receiving you?
Well, I have got a support from my news Channel 6 WKMG, investigative reporter Mike Hopefield did a great story. I have got press from the Black Ebony News down in Brevard County, and do have the support a lot of media in Brevard County, but they wanted me to they standing back and want something new to bring to the table when it comes down to my son's story. They also waiting to hear what's next when it comes down to my story. But next month I'll make 3 years since this incident happened with my son. And my son, we still standing and waiting for justice in his case.
And so you drove all the way up here today to be a part of this. How many miles approximately is it down there? Because I may come down there and get some footage.
Well, you need to. You need to come to our community. You need to let me show you around our community, introduce you to the people that did help me, the people that did listen to me, as in our local NAACP president, Mr. Robert Johnson. He's been there firsthand from the beginning. We drove 6 hours. I don't know how many miles is that, but we drove 6 hours to be a part of showing support for Kendra Johnson. Because I know my son could have been Kendra. My son could have been Trayvon. With the grace of God, my son survived his ordeal. But my son also have a testimony. I think because he survived the ordeal, he is the face of Kendra Johnson. He is the face of Trayvon Martin.
Okay, thank you very much. And once again, I want to close on this note. You don't mind me putting this on YouTube, do you?
No, I don't.
Put it on YouTube. And I want you to join YouTube, and I'm gonna hook up with you all, and let's stay in touch because I know this is going on across the nation. Thank you so much. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press. Give me your name once again.
Andrea Johnson, on behalf of my son, Derek Washington. I ask everyone to stand and support Kendra Johnson, Trayvon Martin, and also Derek Washington. And we stand up for justice. We don't stand up for justice, we'll fall for anything.
And how can people get in touch with you? You got a Facebook? If you want to get phone number? Okay.
Facebook page is Andrea Johnson. I'm in Palm Bay, Florida. Or you can also reach me on johnsonandrea427@yahoo.com for more information on Derek's story.
Get the email address again.
The email address is Johnson, John, Andrea, Andrea, 427@yahoo.com for more information. Or you could go to clickorlando.com and type in my son's name, Derek Washington. It'll bring you could go directly to the dash cam of the incident that happened that night.
Thank you very much. Once again, this is the Ghetto Free Press, George Boss Ryan, Valdosta, Georgia, at the Kendrick Johnson rally today, and there was 400 people I counted, and we could have had more, but they are not here, but I think that God was pleased with what was here, and thank you very much. Thank you so much. This is the Ghetto Free Press. I'm in Valdosta, Georgia, and once again, these people rode together. And what's your name, my beautiful sister?
Wanda Scott.
Wanda Scott, tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here.
This is a picture of Derek Washington, who was shot in my county, Indian River County, in October of 2010. And here's when he was in the hospital. Here's a picture of him winning a lot of his trophies, accolades in high school.
What are those trophies for?
His trophies, he got trophies for being an athlete of the year in Brevard County. He got around his neck is a plaque from ESPN. He participated in a Columbine for the South at ESPN, where the South won their championship. And ESPN named Derek Washington one of their rising stars out of Florida. Derek Washington was ranked 36 of college recruits for the whole state of Florida when this incident happened.
What grade was he in?
He was in 11th grade. He was he was a football star at Palm Bay High. He supposed to graduated this year, went off he decided to attend LSU.
So what are you doing now?
He's incarcerated for 7 months for unjustly because the system failed to protect his rights because they feel that because I filed a civil lawsuit against him, they retaliated back by filing charges against Derek 5 months later after the incident happened.
But they only did it after you filed a suit?
I filed a civil suit against Indian River County and the Sheriff Department March, and April the 9th they filed a warrant for my son's arrest. He's been home. He was home for 6 months, attending school, going through rehab, getting his life back together. I filed a lawsuit in March, and they counteract and filed a charge of attempted murder against a law enforcer. He currently in jail, the $250,000 bond, all because I stood up for justice in his case.
And what are you to him again?
I'm another mother that also had a son unjustly that is incarcerated, but unjustly.
What's his name?
His name is Herbert White Jordan.
When you say tell his story.
His story was not of a shooting, but he was accused of an accessory to a crime. And he was not present. Everything was proven, but they said because he didn't call the police at the time, and he was 16 years old. He really didn't believe the guy what he was uttering because he was under the influence of a controlled substance, that he really meant what he meant. But he just got away from the guy, and they said, well, you're conspiracy to a crime of the murder that the guy did. He says, they didn't prove nothing.
Okay, you can lower this sign down a minute. Let me ask you a question. I see you hold a paper. Tell me something about that paper you have there.
When I was a little boy, there was a lot of love. Love between brothers and sisters, neighbors and friends. There was so much love. Till I thought love would never end. But today, as I look around me, I see so much hatred and killing everywhere. So if you got someone who loves you,
okay,
I'll tell you today.
Tell us a little more. Well, what did Bobby Worthy do when he came down there?
He conducted a rally and he that injustice will
somebody tell me where did it go?
Punish.
Where did all the love go? Somebody tell me where did it go? There was a time if a neighbor saw you in distress, they would come running to help. These days, they'll just drive by just to see what's going on, so they can call their friends and tell them on the cell phone. As a people, where are we going from here? What will the future be like? Will things get better, or will it get worse if we don't come together? I'm sure in the future, things will be worse.
Is that an organization or what?
Well, it may be.
No justice, no peace, because
Somebody tell me where did it go?
I'm trying to get justice for my son.
And you say you heard about me on YouTube?
Yes.
So people way down there in where?
In Florida. Gifford, Florida.
And Brevard County, Florida, Palm Bay and Melbourne, Florida.
Well, I got over 250,000 views, but somebody here is saying that I have that's a crap. I got crap. What do you think that's crap on you?
No, how did we know about you way down in the Central Florida? How you think we found out about you way down in Central Florida?
And in Gifford, just by looking at it, we were just shocked.
So it gotta be. You said right off. You said, I think I know you. I met some people from the other week from California, and they said the same thing. Well, there's one thing about it. I appreciate y'all comments, but my main thing is that I don't want to put nothing out there unless it's the truth. I believe in the truth. And regardless of what come and go, we as a people we're suffering people. We've been suffering before we came over here. On the ship we suffered.
Yes.
And we ain't no ways tired yet. We just don't get tired because God sent us here for a purpose. And I think it's to help this nation be a heck of a lot better than it is today. And we're going to get there. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, once again, give me your name again.
Wanda Scott.
Wanda Scott.
Treasure Coast Chronicles News out of Fort Pierce, and then my company is called G.B.R Marketing Firm, and I happen to be the family of Mosley Groceries, which is the oldest African American business grocery store in Indian River County, as well as Gifford.
Thank you so much, Indian Rivers. Thank you so much. I suppose it came down, but worried about we didn't get it together. We supposed to came down there. All right, go ahead, sister.
And I am Andrea Johnson, a mother, a proud mother
of
Derek Washington Jr.
Hold on right there. And you was proud mother of?
I'm the proud mother of Herbert White Jordan. They call him AJ. And he's incarcerated right now unjustly.
Make sure that you all make sure that they got support. Yes. Let law enforcement know that you are with them. I've been doing in civil rights since '75, and I found out that when they know somebody care about the people in there, they treat them differently.
Oh, Indian River, no, I care, because I be on the doorstep every time they docket there. I'll be there in the courtroom sitting there, whether they bring my son there or not. They know that I'm not going to just give up on my son. My son is my heart. They already took away his soul. I'm not going to let them have his life.
All right, once again, we're going to close this out. And I thank you all so much as we focus on the flag. So many black African Americans have fought to protect that flag and this nation in time of war. And all we have ever asked for in this country was equal justice under the law. Yet we know that the Dred Scott decision said that no black man had rights that any white man had to respect. And it seemed as if though we see that emerging again. And we can only do what we're doing, and that is to pick up cameras, create newspapers, and to ensure that our story is told and not swept beneath the rug. Once again, this is George Boston Rhymes on the Ghetto Free Press, the voice of the people. And just remember this is a part of me. We are not who we claim to be as a community, state, nation, and world, but who we prove ourselves to be over a given period of time. And listen to this. When truth comes into the minds of those who seek truth, then all falsehood must vanish. And falsehood is indeed a vanishing thing. And this is why we must understand what Jesus said. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my word will stand forever.
Amen.
And let us stand forever. Bye-bye. We gone.
Amen.
Heavenly Father, we're living in hell down here. Some soldiers are coming back. They don't have a home. Their house been repossessed. voices fighting against the president.
In Brooks County. And so we
Things they
have
are
the
saying.
record. We have the
Just
record.
don't make
We
no
have the
sense.
names of the 31
They
jail
could all
officials. We
work
have the
together.
names of the week of terror.
We could
When
get something
15 to
done.
25 blacks were murdered in
Instead
prison.
of all
We
this
got the record
fighting,
of Earl
they'll
Evans
have
shot,
jobs
burned up in a